Hey everybody, it's Max McAllister. We are here with part 3 of our installation video for the ATL BIK power folding mirrors and for the 2018 Plus Honda Goldwing. On this part, we're going to install the, the wiring harness and control module. Now, we did scout this video, and from the video that ATL BIK prepared, we're going to have to deviate from it. The bike that they have in their video has a trunk, but it does not have this cruise control module up here. Now, my bike is a 6-speed, and I believe theirs is a DCT, and I just don't know if this is in a different location on a DCT or what. I've never actually paid attention to that. But in their video, they want to put their control module in this pocket. We can't do that because the cruise control motor is right here. So there's a pretty good void right here where we're planning to put the control module, but I've never done it and we've never done it. We're going to do it right now live. So I'm going to stop talking about it. So very first step, we're going to undo this connector right here. So look for references. Here's this plastic finger sticking up. We're going for this connector here. You push on the back side of that to get it to release. So push down back there. This will come loose. Next, we're going to move this blue block a little bit out of the way. This cable is easy enough to get out of the way as well. I'm going to do that. It's another pinch connector. You have to pinch pretty hard and pull pretty hard. Make sure you pull on the plastic, not on the wires, okay? So, now, we're going to, behind is a barb holder. We're going to push on one side of the bar behind here with your finger and just pull. You can give it a little love and that'll kind of pop loose. You're just trying to get one of those barbs started right there. We're not doing anything with this. We're going to try and tuck it out of the way a little bit. What we are trying to get to is this connector here. It's another one of those double barbs. Now in their video, they're releasing it from the tab. I didn't find that was necessarily better, and I thought it was a little more difficult. It was more difficult to put it back on. So with these barb type connectors, as long as you get one side kind of started down, so I'm just pushing in on that if that shows up on the camera. I get one side started down, I can push on the other side, and it's down. We're going to pull this out of there. I also find those little blade holders, you can break them sometimes, putting them on and off. All right, so this main block here, that's your release. So you're going to pinch that real hard and get that to come loose. And that should get us what we're after. Now, all this stuff is plug and play, so you can't really screw it up because, you know, it won't go in there. Now this is, here we go. Ooh, what is going on? Let's see. Oh, there we go. See, you can't do it wrong. No way to do it wrong. All right, this guy, it doesn't want to glide right in, it does. So you can't put donuts with donuts. Just remember that. Everything goes male and female here in the world of wiring. Next is, I'm going to plug this in here. Wait for the click. And sometimes I end up, after I do things with wiring, I'll go back and make them lay right. Once I have everything plugged, you really can't tell sometimes until you want to start buttoning things up. Now, I don't know where I'm going to land with this yet, so I am going to follow the way they did it. They put their mirror wiring in next, so I'm going to follow suit with that. Take a little time and try and straighten these out so they're kind of relaxed and take the kinks out of them. It's a little nicer. There's a pathway. It's super obvious through here. once you have your bike and a flashlight, you'll be able to look right through the dash and put these things through there. So I've just poked it in, and it's simple enough. I wonder if I should lower this so we can do a little bit. I think we'll be able to do a little more better camera work if I lower the spike some. You hit that release for me. I'm gonna leave it up a little bit. So you might go around the other side and kind of hop up on the lift while I pull this stuff through. So you can already see the connector in here. It's just that easy. So if you want, you can pull some of that harness in. And we're going to follow the same path right out the other side, hopefully. Let's see if I can. Find the way out. See if I can feel it coming up to my finger. These guys are much faster in it in their video, but I'm guessing they've done it once or 50 million times while they develop their product. I like to do videos live because it gives you an idea of just what kind of trouble you might run into. Let's see if I can. I'm going to look through the hole. See what I'm looking for. I'll show you one of my tricks. You can use a big zip tie or something if you got a coat hanger around. We keep a couple of just old big zip ties around. You can poke things through to help you find a pathway. So I'm going to poke that in there. And if you wanted, you could throw a little piece of tape around it or a zip tie. Just help you cheat. Nothing wrong with a little cheating now and again. So I'm just going to take this and wrap a piece of tape on it just to help me guide it. Except I did a terrible job of taping. Looks good, doesn't it? You know how long that's got to last? No, I just pulled the thing out. That's funny. It's funny, but it's not funny. Here we go. Easy money. You're really gonna give me a hard time, aren't you? All right, let me try again in reverse. Sorry about this. There's a nice giant pathway right through there. More tape. My cameraman is holding that zip tie so I can't pull it through the frame again. All right. Now let's see if we can do it. Ta-da! All right, that one, we got that. So that's some reality, how you might be challenged with that. Let's get my mess of tape off of there. Sorry to make you watch me do this, but there is a fast forward button on your mouse there. You can do your own sort of editing, so I don't have to. What do you want for free? I'm no cruise man here. He's got the editing studio. Good grief. What a mess I made. This is some high quality painter's tape. Hopefully you've advanced through this and you're not watching me, but that's all right if you are. Okay. Now, they want you to zip tie the, I only have super long zip ties. That's sort of a waste, but so they want you to zip tie these close together, sort of to simulate the, let's call it the factory fit. So those two connectors are close together so that you're not, to give yourself as much help and slack. You're going to align them, but you want to run your zip tie as far back up into the bike as you can get it. The factory harness has a zip tie on the fairing subframe in there. You're going to push it up in there and cinch it down in there. All right. That way you've got slack to work with the two connectors. Let me find my little boot's falling off. Find my razor blade. I'll put it somewhere. I don't know where. Just gonna nip this in there. All right. So that's that side. Oops, more tape. And we're going to go to the other side and set that up. This one, much easier to deal with. It almost just lays up in there. Same thing, just start a loose loop, get it close. Then we're going to push our zip tie back up into the fairing as far as we can reasonably get it. And that's that. Oh, I know where my razor blade is. Here it is. So you kind of get a look in there. I've pushed that up in there as far as I can get it reasonably. It's not a good place for trimming zip ties, is it? All right. That's that. Now we need to neaten up that harness and get it secured up in there. So I'm looking at any excess slack I've got, and there's not much. They've done a nice job with the harness. And up in your fairing, you'll see there's kind of a triangular shaped fairing bracket. We're going to put a couple of zip ties on each side for that harness, and to make that wire get up and hide and be out of view. Now, if you're doing any other work, one thing that would make this easier would be if you had your console stood up. That would make getting your hands in there and doing this work easier. And if you haven't done that, it's really quite easy. You can pop up these two pieces of fairing plastic, There's a couple of 5mm Allens. You slide the console forward, it snaps up. You put a towel here, and you just stand that console up. And as a matter of fact, I almost think I'm going to do that to not only make this easier, but it'll make it easier to videotape. You don't have to do it, but will you hand me that roll of painter's tape right there? So this is a bonus video here. We're just gonna, I'm gonna grab this, kind of pop that up. Ours, we've done this a mess of times on our bike, so it comes pretty easy. Grab underneath, pull up. My glove box doesn't open anymore because I've got our recabulation kit on our bike. Do I need to have that open? There is a push-pull pin in there, and I need that Allen, that T Allen, thanks. There's a 5mm Allen bolt on each side that you got to get. You can just hold this plastic away, and there's an Allen bolt in there. Careful not to drop it in the bike. Then a Honda push pin, a weird fat one on each side. That's how you know which one it is. It's a weird fat one. Only one on the whole motorcycle that looks like that. There's that. Get this push pin out. All right, I got that all out. Let's set that over on my cart over here. And then I need a little bit of a towel or something. So this slides forward, and then you pull up on it. And your console, you can stand that up then. So this is where you want your towel so you don't scratch your painted parts here. Now you can look right down in that fairing well. This is also a great time to put in your Traxxion Dynamics patented steering safety pin. All right, so we're gonna, let me get a couple zip ties started. We're going for, you might even want the, you can probably stand up there if you want. What we're going for is this V-shaped or arch-shaped bracket in the fairing. Can you see that? Let's see if we can lower this a little bit. That arch, and there's the corresponding one over there. See that steel arch? We're going to put 2 zip ties on each side there. So let me do that while you're hanging out with me. I'm going to kind of put these in the middle and slide them to the side because it's easy to start them and reach them in the middle and slide them. These arches are good to use. There's a lot of accessories that you can zip tie to these 2 parts, you know, depending on lighting kits and things like that. There's a lot of stuff that looks good, or you use these to clean up your wiring. Now, me being me, I'm going to show you how I clean this up when I'm all done. So there's one side. You see in there? So you see my 2 zip ties hanging down. So no wire there. I'm going to do the exact same thing on the other side. And I'll show you how I ultimately clean it up. Here's the harness. Make sure you don't have any hanging down. Make sure you push the middle up, you know, so that you don't have it drooping down. Spread your 2 zip ties and pull them tight there. So now we'll take a look in there. Where's that flashlight? No wires, just 4 zip ties. All right, now my last step, I'm gonna get in there with my, hang on one second. Get in there and nip off my zip ties. I do this blindfolded because I've done 50 million zip ties in my lifetime. Ninja style. All right, and then my last step, since I don't even like to look at anything, I take the heads of the zip tie. When you have a zip tie showing somewhere, I like to take the head of the zip tie and roll it around backwards where I don't even have to look at it. I can't see it at all. So I grab them and roll them all back. That makes it prettier. And now inside there, can't see anything. Just a nice clean wiring job. All right. Now, this is where we're almost getting to uncharted ground here, because we're gonna have to deal with this guy. So next, we're gonna connect the control module to the harness. So you push this rubber boot, roll it back down till the connector appears. We're gonna snap in the control module, pull the boot back up and cover it nicely. Now, we have to figure out on our bike. So yeah, this is gonna go in there on our bike. Again, on their bike, they show there's a hole in the plastic bodywork, not the bodywork, but the sub-body work under here where this bolt is on my cruise control, and they're zip tying this module in there. But because that cruise control module has to toggle and move, we're not going to do that with our bike. So I am going to start snapping things back into place, however. So starting with this first connector, we're going to get that in there and underneath. And get it back up in its hole. Some assistance. All right. So can you see in there? We snapped that connector into place. Where's the tip of my screwdriver? Can you see? Here, come around to the. There you go. We snapped that connector into place. All right. Next, I've got to now hide this connector. Let's see if I'll get that wire behind that block. This connector goes back here. So let's see what kind of space we have to work with. This lays on that side of that, I recall. You know what? There might be. There's more space in there behind. I might put this connector behind it first. Let's try that. Take this one back out. So we're gonna tuck this one in behind first, because there's a pocket in there. It's not doing anything. I think that's gonna work out nice, actually. Could be wrong. See this live. Nope, there's something there stopping me. of course. So maybe I can push it back in to the left here. That might do it. Well, there's more stuff in there. We're fighting with it a little bit. Okay, I'm going to leave it forward. I'm just going to go ahead and put this back. How it first went in from Honda. All right, that goes there. That goes there. I'm going to put that over the top of that. And we're just going to let this one hang down here. Put it behind there a little bit. So I'm just routing that behind that on my cruise control module, just tucking that behind that round head right there. All right, and then this can lay right up in there. Now, this is one of those situations. I'm going to break this connector because I want to get this wire out from behind it so that it'll lay a little nicer. Sometimes you don't see these things until you're actually almost done. There we go. I'm going to put that one up on top, reconnect this so that that's neater. That's giving me an aggravation. All right. We still have this guy to put back together. This one's always bothered me. It's super tight from Honda. Like the cable's too short. So I'm going to let it loose. I don't like this cable being so taut in there. We might use that loom in a second. So that just gives me a little better slack. This thing has always bothered me from Honda. And we're going to want that over the top of that. So we're moving all of our harness forward as we clean up here. All right, now we want that. So once again, I'm going to undo that. So I want to put it under. I just don't like things tangled, so that's going to be on the bottom. This will be on top of it. I don't know that we have any burning need for zip ties in here on anything. But if we wanted to do a zip tie, there's a gray harness there. Actually, itself is not a bad one. All right, so let's get 2 zip ties. Put one onto the harness itself. Kind of making a loop there, putting it around that blue block. And I'm going to put it around this gray connector here. Gray wire. Actually, on my bike is the, I think the 12-volt socket, accessory socket. Pull them sideways. See how I pull them sideways? You just nick it with the thing and it'll break off. Is that as good as I want that? I think it's plenty of room. That goes there. Now, on our bike, we have to study this. I think I'm going to untangle this a little bit. This is, again, one of those things you just got to put together, and as you neaten up, get it right. The mystery of the electrical connectors. You never know which way they go. We'll pull that out. that out. And we're going to want this to lay. Just going to get like this. Make sure you hear the click. All right, now we got this guy. I'm going to say, we harness this up like that in one neat dealio there. All right, now this, so gonna, just to conserve on harness here, I'm folding that. We're gonna put this into this pocket. I'm gonna zip tie it all right there with that, with the existing Honda harness. If you ever need to get around something, take your zip tie and do like a curly Q pigtail with it, coil it, and you'll get it semi sort of started into a curve so that you can put it through somewhere that you're having trouble getting it to follow if it was just a straight zip tie. I got my other little harness bundle we made there. So does everybody look clean and neat before I pull this zip tie? I got this one guy we want to tuck in there. There we go. Everybody looks clean and neat. All quite secure. Move zip tie. All right. Feel pretty good about that. Let's test fit our fairing panel. These you start at the very point, the very front. That little tip there goes in that hole. That's where the whole process begins to put this back on. So you're going to put that there and pull backwards as you go, pushing everything in as it goes. Get to here. Make sure everything's going right back here. That'll snap in. That'll snap in. Boom, bitty, boom, boom. If you don't get this right, see I didn't get that right? There'll be an obvious gap there. Just go back, take it loose, and get it right. So there you go. See how it dropped in? That's what you're looking for. Seams are all good. So it's good to make mistakes in install videos. That way people know. This does go at a very specific angle. Look at, the surface you're screwing it into and make sure you're straight before you try and cross thread it inadvertently. You got one push pin here, put back on the side. We've got push pin in this corner we have to take loose. And the push pin's on my biker beat up. That snaps in. We had one. This screw is unique compared to most others because it's going through the black plastic and red plastic. Its shoulder is taller. This is for going through a single piece of plastic. That's for going through two. That's if you ever get your hardware mixed up, that's how you can know, because they really do look the same. This one goes in absolutely straight to the front of the bike. All right, we got our spaghetti stripe to go in. I haven't done this in a while myself. I got people that handle this stuff. So you get to watch me fumble around a little. And remember that piece of nuisance plastic I talked about? It it goes in there. None of this ever wants to snap in right or line up nicely. So we just lop that thing off. It's just one little tab. You'll figure it out by the time you try and put it on. You know, I'll tell you what, I'm going to stop this video because it's probably enough. I'll come back and we'll put the mirrors on and we'll do some test driving. And that'll be part 4. So thanks for watching. Thumbs up. We'll be back in shortly.